Joshua, the way he lost, I would take a tune-up because he don't know how he lost. He got knocked down 4 times. And in my opinion, he quit. I know the signs and the body language of a fighter. I know what to look for. Certain things like spitting out the mouthpiece, buying more time. Referee telling you to come. This is not a break. He telling you this is not a break and you still going to the neutral corner. That's a sign. Looking over at the corner. That's a sign. When you're not responding back to the referee, you're giving him the indication that you don't want to do this no more. Now you're forcing him to stop the fight. It's a sign. He quit that night. And for that reason, if I was him, I would try to get a tune-up to get my mindset back right, to make sure I understand everything. Because he went back to his corner one time and said, what did he hit me with? I'm like, dang, was he that fast? And little things like that. And then when he fight him, no matter if he fight him here or fight him there, he's gonna be facing his demons over again, knowing that he beat me and I don't understand it. But Joshua will have to take initiative of his own career. He have to say, to his people, because I know he's a rock in a hard spot because his people want him over here. Ruiz talking about coming over there, and Joshua wants to come and correct his wrongs, which that's the most respectful way to do it. Go back and get your title. That's like legacy thing. That's something that you can leave for your kids and say, my dad, he lost his title in America, but you know what? He went back and he whooped ass and got it back. Now that's a heroic story. Then,
wow. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I was letting you guys listen to another portion of the BT Sports interview with Deontay Wilder. Now, he gave his account and his recommendations of what Joshua should do. And first off, he thought Joshua quit. He says he knows signs of a person's body language that wants to quit. And he was knocked down 4 times. And he spit out the mouthpiece to buy himself more time. He also said that when Joshua was in the corner, he looked at his corner. He wasn't responding to the ref. And he made the ref force to stop the fight. Now, me counterpunching what Deontay Wilder had to say was, for one, he did spit out the mouthpiece to buy himself more time. That's no secret. You do that. Keith Thurman almost did that when he got hit with a body shot. Matter of fact, he took it out of his mouth with his own glove just to buy himself more time to do what? To breathe. Now, to me, that doesn't show signs of quitting. That shows signs that you need air. Signs that you need time to breathe. If anybody had any mouthpiece, if you played football or you boxed any, or hockey, you'll know that you breathe a lot better without the mouthpiece in your mouth. It has little holes in the mouthpiece, but that only brings so much air in at a time. Under certain conditions and circumstances, you want to take that motherfucker out. You're either going to spit it out or you're going to take it out. You spit it out like Joshua did to breathe in. Or you take it out like Keith Thurman did to breathe in. Either way, you want to have more air coming in, right? That's my take on it. Again, when did he not respond to the referee? I don't know what fight Deontay Wilder was looking at, because that wasn't what I saw. I've saw that fight a dozen times, and I've noticed, because I paid attention, because I wanted to see, did he quit or did he not? What happened? And everything that Joshua explained, the ref did. The ref did push him back. He called him for it. He came up. He still had his mouthpiece. The referee had his mouthpiece, right? He pushed him back. He asked, you ready to go? When he pushed him back, the exhausted ass big muscles from fucking England had to lay his arms on the ropes. Why? Because he was exhausted. So he's like, well, hell, okay, I'm going to wait to see what the hell he's going to do. He turns back around, right? Joshua gets back on the ropes. He steps up, right? He finally takes his hands off the ropes. He shakes his head. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And then I guess the ref in that second said, you know what? He's not ready. This fight's over, right? That's the referee's discretion. So, again, you can't say a fighter quit if just because he spit out his mouthpiece. Again, I don't know where the hell what fight he was looking at, because there was no time when Anthony Joshua and the ref said, man, are you ready to go? And that motherfucker just looked at him. That's a sign. Now, if Joshua would have done that, I would have been okay. Either he's not understanding what he's saying, right? Nothing's registering at that point because he's that buzzed, that dazed, right? That disembobulated. I'll get that. I understand that. That would be a sure sign to me. Like, okay, he ain't even responding. He just, do you want to continue? You know what I mean? Now, if Joshua did that, yeah, it's time to call, bring it on in. Let's just shut this down. But that wasn't the case. You saw Joshua, okay, yeah. And he looks down at the mouthpiece because that's what the ref does. If the mouthpiece drops, they put it back in his mouth. It's a lot of fighters that do that. It's a tactic, okay? It's a tactic. Oh, you drop the mouthpiece, and that's that, And then pretty soon the ref's going to drop. He's going to stop the fight, pick up the mouthpiece, take it back to the neutral corner, let him wipe it off, right? And then put it back in his mouth. But that time, that gives that person time. They do that. That's old school tactics, actually. That's nothing new. All right, so if you're tired, your fighter has problems with stamina, he's going to pull that, you know what? You know what I mean? Boop, boop, spit it out, right? So I can bring in more air. I get more time. The referee stops it, but then the referee has to be more experienced enough to know that, hey, you know what? This guy's spitting out this damn mouthpiece. He keeps doing that. That's why they give him warnings for that, right? You do that 2 or 3 times, you're going to get a point deducted because it's deliberate, because they want to stop the action at that time because the other fighter could be getting the advantage of the other fighter. These are all facts, people. This is what happens. These are tactics, And like Deontay Wilder, he answered his own question. He said he spit the mouthpiece out to do what? Buy more time. That's exactly what we're talking about. So how do you buy more time if you're quitting? If you quit, you just fucking quit. If he quit, he just laid down on the canvas like, no, he just watched that motherfucking ref count. He did an Eric Morales. He let him get to about 9, and then he decides to get up because he knows, okay, I'm not going to beat the 9 count. This is not a Fury situation. Fury actually got up according to the ref's count. So I don't know, I know he's still butthurt about that, so I had to throw that in there, right? But he beat the count. He got up. He misunderstood the ref, whatever, but it was the ref's call, and the ref stopped the fight. That's how the fight stopped. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. It was a TKO, And speaking of buying more time, people, let's be real. How much time did Deontay Wilder have after the 7th round, the beginning of the 8th? They gave this man 28 seconds to bring somebody in when they could have done that in the corner. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell me that man didn't have more ample time. That has never happened. Listen to the commentary of that fight. Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder won. Now, Ortiz had him in trouble. He had him dead to rights. And if you look back at that fight, just look at the whole 7th round in the beginning of the 8th. And then you'll see how the referee, how he was so quick to, first of all, he seen that Deontay Wilder was holding on for dear life. He let him do that. He let that guy do that. And Ortiz did hit him with punches, and he did punch himself out. The ref watched him, and Deontay stated, well, you know, I was so worried that the fight would be stopped. That fight would have never been stopped. If that shit could have happened a whole nother minute, they would have let that shit ride. That referee was not stopping shit. He was not stopping that fight. All right? Because, in fact, he was the guy that gave Deontay Wilder that time. And that ref deliberately did not check the condition of Deontay Wilder in between the 7th round and the 8th round. He knew, no, I'm going to wait and give this champion more fucking time because I know he's fucked up because he did the stanky leg on the way back to the corner. Right? So you can't tell me that this guy didn't have all the time he needed from the powers that be. Let's be real. You know, and it's crazy. It's like, oh, you talking about more time. The referee gave you all the time that you ever would need. You know, that man got a minute and 28 seconds. And just like Paulie Malignaggi said, who in the hell does that? I've never seen that before. They do that in the neutral corner. They do that in that intermission of that 60 seconds. Let's check out this fighter. Let's check his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on with him. Can you continue? It's up to Deontay Wilder at that point to respond. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I can continue. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened. They stopped that man, examined that man like he was fucking cattle. Okay? You're okay. Let's check him. Let's do a full examination right here. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, you know? But what Deontay said later on in this interview that he was right. He said that also he would do a tune-up, okay, as you guys heard. And a tune-up match for someone like Joshua, and we already know how Joshua feels about tune-ups. He's like, who the fuck am I going to tune up to fight? You know, I'm not going to fight any easy pick'ems. You know, and the reality of this is we know now what Deontay Wilder will do if he ever loses. He's going to fight a cherry pick. He's going to fight someone that gets to get his confidence back because that's his instructions. That's his recommendations. Right? Oh, I would fight a tune-up. Well, of course you would fight a tune-up. You've been fighting tune-ups all your fucking career until lately. Until last year. So, yeah, that's typical instructions from the Bronze Bomber, a guy that his resume looks like fighting someone from, I don't know, picking guys out of a hat, maybe. You know, his resume doesn't look worth a damn, honestly. Until lately. So let's be real about that. Now, what he said, hey, you know, Joshua wanted to fight it over here. He should come back and fight it here. That's something to tell his grandkids, you know, my dad or whatnot, you know, or my grandfather, you know, he lost his belts and he came over here to get his belts back. That would be great. You know, that would be a good thing to do. And, you know, for his legacy's on the line. You know, that I will agree with. His legacy is on the line. He does need to get those belts back. He is in a rock and a hard place. Now, I would agree with that, with what Wilder had to say about it. But as far as tune-ups and stuff, he said he feels he needs to do a tune-up. And he's not the only one that feels the tune-up. For Joshua to have a tune-up, though. He's not the only person that thinks that way. A lot of people think he needs to get his confidence back or whatnot. But remember something about Joshua. Joshua is the kind of guy that he's like Dominic Toretto. He lives his life one quarter at a time. He doesn't believe in slow pick'ems or easy goings. Why do you think he was beat by Ruiz? Because Ruiz was the best opponent for him to pick at the time. He wasn't a guy that had 4 or 5 losses. He wasn't a guy that, no one knew. You know what I mean? He was a guy that people knew who he was. Not everyone knew who he was, but they knew he was a guy that fought a close fight with the guy that Joshua beat. We knew that, or a lot of people knew that much. But we did not know, or they did not know, who that was initially coming in. But they know who the hell he is now. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Deontay Wilder's interview. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.